What's up, everybody, man? This is yours truly from That Square Sports Podcast. Yours truly, this is Chris, big time, big time. And today we're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Man, let me tell you something right now. First things first, I think the direction of this team in the offseason is just amazing. I mean, I'm listening and I'm looking and I see where they're going. And I love everything about this team, right? I love everything right now, what they're doing. I do not like them because they're in our division, but free agency, they're winning right now. They got the money, they got the space, they got the opportunity, they got the young quarterback. They're doing everything right. Whew. When I say the mock, they got them getting, they have a total, I think, of what, 12 picks? They have the 133, 65, 70, 106, 157, 180, 188, 190, 199, 223, 236. They have 12 picks. Godly. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of picks. Yeah, this video took some time, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of players I have too, I don't have highlights for, so you kind of got to try to go find them. But in their mock, they got them getting Evan Neal at number 1, Daxton Hill at 33, Doan Clark at 65, and David Bell at 70. With that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and just dive in. Number 1 overall, of course, we got Evan Neal, right? 6'7", offensive tackle, 350, junior class out of Alabama. I mean, why not, right? Protect your asset, which is going to be, Trevor Lawrence. And I think that, going forward in the division, especially, there's not a lot of pass rushers in the AFC South, but if you still want them to be good, you go ahead and you protect them. You get your human wall, so you got to make sure you get at least an 8 to 10 year player out of that. So I don't see why you don't get Evan Neal at number 1. I mean, you could alter out. You can get Cross, whoever you want at O-line. But at the end of the day, I think Evan Neal is the best fit for the Jaguars, especially with them adding Cam Robinson too as well. In free agency, I think that's just the icing on the cake. At 33, they have Boy Mafe out of Minnesota, 6'4", defensive end, 255. I'm sorry, add some more weight to that. 7 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 34 tackles, 26 solo tackles, 5 4s what he ran. 4 5s what he ran. He's ranked 15 in his position. I do not think that Daxton Hill will be there in the second round, but I think that the Jaguars, once they do realize that, they will go ahead and get Mafe. I think I'm saying his name right, out of Minnesota. And dude, this guy, I think he had a really good team of edge rushers at Minnesota. But the reason why I think he stands out is his effort. He just goes all out every single play. And there's a couple of highlights you can look at too. I'm just looking at him and I'm just saying to myself, I think that he does more for his team than a lot of people expect. I think that he's one of those underrated defensive ends in this draft, even though he's going in the second round. I have him going pretty high up. But he's not your George Karlaftis. He's not your KT Thibodeau or Hutchinson. He's got to be on a team where there's kind of some guys that's already there. And I know the Jaguars don't have edge rushers like that. But in the reality, in the grand scheme of things, I think that this is a good fit for them to get him. Go ahead and knock that out and grab him while you can. Just because you can mold a culture there again. Just kind of how like the Jaguars were back in 2017-16. Ton of edge rushers, man. Just a ton, man. Just throw a lot at you. And I think at 33, that's what you get because I think Daxton Hill is not going to be there. At 65, I think we go on ahead and grab a prime possession receiver, David Bad Boy Bell. David Bell is 6'2", 205, junior class, 40 time, 4'6". He's 12th ranked in a position in this draft, especially in this position of wide receiver. He's got 93 receptions. He's got over 1,200 yards. He's got 6 touchdowns and average of 13.8 receiving yards. All right, guys. The reality about David Bell is that he's one of those players you love him because he works with any quarterback. He's going to be probably like, the comp that I have for him would probably be like a Tyler Lockett. He could be a great gadget player, but he can also step up and take over if he needs to. Especially at 65, I think that's a steal. Great pick. There's a couple of highlights I have of him literally rearranging his body. And even on the 2 highlights that I do have, he's got 2 different quarterbacks throwing him the ball. They throw it 2 completely different ways, and they're really bad at it, to be honest with you, at Purdue. But he kind of just graced himself, and he's just that good of an athlete to do both of those things. So I really enjoy, him being there at 65. I think that's a great pick for him. Straight up, awesome pick. With that being said, at number 70, I have Donovan West out of Arizona State. I do not have any highlights on him. Raw talent. He played center. He had some run-ins with Thibodeau at center, which is crazy, right? 6'4", 300 pounds, junior class, 17th rank in his position. 5'2" is what he ran. Dude's not that bad, bro. Donovan West is not that bad of a football player. He's actually pretty legit. He was solid. At ASU, he started all his games. He played very well. He allowed a few sacks in the UCLA game, a few sacks in the USC game. He's not a player that's going to start right away, but I like him to switch over to guard. I think his hands are fast and he's really quick, and he can just kind of sit, which he did a great job at center. So, I think that's going to really do that. And just on top of that, I think Arizona had a really good run game last year. I think they were in the top 25. So having him there that could help out with, either Cam Robinson or Travis Etienne, and the other running back that they have. So got some pretty potential weight there. With that being said, at number 106, the fourth rounder, probably gonna mess this kid's name up. Requio Woolen out of I messed his name. I know I did, y'all. But Woolen out of UTSA, Texas boy. Dude, the guy is 6'4", 205, cornerback, 4'2". Unofficial time, I think, 20th rank in his position. 1 interception, pass deflections, he's got 5, 25 tackles, 17 solo. I think with him, the tape doesn't show his true potential. I think that he's one of those players that once he's on the field, he's kind of going to shock you. Like, the Griffin brothers, how they came into the league, something like that. He's going to be one of those corners. So I'm seeing him and I'm watching him play at UTSA a couple of games. And I'm looking to myself and I'm saying they're not throwing the ball to his side at all. And he kind of played a little bit of safety as well there. So I think this could be your secret Daxton Hill type player. Especially, like I said, he's 6'4", 205. You put some more weight on him, muscle him up. He's probably going to lose a little bit of that speed, but he can get that hitting power. I have no problem with this at 106. I have no problem you guys moving him over to a box safety. I think that'll be a perfect fit for him, especially, being that type of player. And he can play corner if need be, so y'all can go man or y'all can go, coverage, however you want to do it. Depends on the Jaguars, how they want to use him. But if he's there at 106, I think that's a good value pick, and Jaguars should keep moving forward with that. At 157, we should get this guy named Channing Tindall out of the University of Georgia, linebacker, 6'2", 223 pounds, senior class. He runs a 4.4, 13th rank in his position. He's got 5.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 67 tackles, and 35 solo tackles. He is a part of that amazing linebacker crew at the University of Georgia with Nakobe Dean as well. All those guys are going to probably go in the first round, but I think he is the unsung hero. If you watch him, he is more so the guy that comes in with the effort to finish off a lot of tackles. That is what he was good at. He finished off a lot. If you could slow him down, he was going to knock him down. And that's what makes him so great. And I think we're going to double dip here at linebacker too, especially the way I've got it set up. I think I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that here in the next few picks. But at 157, if he's there, I think I like him pretty much for like a lot of other teams in the NFL as well, like the 49ers. I like him for the Falcons. I like him for the Cowboys. I like a lot of fits for him. But I do think that if he goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, starts right away, losing Miles Jack, they need to pretty much kind of figure out who's going to be that guy for them. And this is going to help them figure out who is going to be that guy for them by getting $10 at 157. Next pick is going to be at 180, and I got them getting a tight end, Jake Ferguson out of Wisconsin. 6'5", 244, senior class, 10th rank in his position, 4.8, and reception is 46, receiving yards 450, touchdowns 3, average on there is 9.8. He's like your third down kind of guy. He's your safety blanket, as most tight ends are, right? But he actually, I think the 40 time and the game speed is two completely different players. I think this guy actually can move pretty quick from what I was looking at in a couple of his highlights, and as you can see too as well. But he's out of Wisconsin. They don't throw the ball a lot. You guys know that. Straight up, they run it. So he knows how to block. You don't just go to Wisconsin to not block. But I think catching out the backfield, doing bubble screens, he's a versatile player. Swiss Army knife. His comp would be, I know this is a bit strange, but he's kind of like an Aaron Hernandez coming out of Florida. He can play the fullback position. He can play the two tight end position. He can come off and block. He can play receiver. Kind of does it all. He was just in a bad system at quarterback at Wisconsin. You know, with Cohen leaving, and then the other guy there who didn't really throw the ball a lot. It just kind of doesn't really flow very well for them. But I will say this: if he does go to the Jaguars, I think that would be good with teaming him up with O'Shaughnessy, getting him right, and that would be a pretty good landing spot for him. Pretty good landing spot. Jaguars again at 188, so I get 8 picks up. Get this guy named Noah Taylor out of Virginia. Another guy, another linebacker, like I said before, 6'5", 235 pounds, senior class, 28th rank in his position, and he runs a 4.6. Sacks, he's got 3.5. He's got tackles, he's got 69. Solo, he's got 28. So his niche really comes from pass deflections, and he's really good at the bull rush. Pressure is more of his MO. And that is a beautiful thing, especially in the AFC South right now, because really, no one really has a death-defying quarterback but the Titans. And I think if you guys can hold your own, he kind of takes that place, because if you're teaming him up with Tyndall and you're teaming him up with, Noah Taylor, these guys might be pretty good, and they're both young. They both can get after it. They both got good effects, like, catching, hitting the players for show. That's what they can do. So if you catch them out in the open field, they rarely miss tackles. The biggest knock I have for Noah Taylor is I think that he takes too much of a risk sometimes. But usually he succeeds at it, but he takes too much of a risk. I was watching a trick play. I mean, obviously it was a given, but if that trick play would have worked, definitely would have scored on him. So it's something that you have to look at too as a coach, but raw talent, a lot of raw talent for Noah Taylor. Next up is going to be 198, and I got this guy named Michael Woods out of Oklahoma at receiver. 6'1", 198 pounds, senior class, 42 ranked in his position, 4.5. He had 35 receptions, 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he averaged 11.4 yards per catch. Let me tell y'all something right now. This guy, his playing skill, his technique, his style, really does not sing justice to where he deserves to be. I'm going to be honest with you. He was a transfer out of Arkansas. He was right out there with Traylon Burks. He was doing his thing there in Arkansas. He came over to Oklahoma. I believe that Spencer Rattler was supposed to be the guy. It ended up being Caleb Williams. And that caused a lot of conflict for these Oklahoma players, especially on offense. Mike Woods, you really got to see him in depth more so in his Arkansas stats than you do of his Oklahoma stats. And it kind of sucks. Like I said, once again, guys, it's not fair to him because he really can play very, very well and exceptionally well. I think he's one of the best. He's one of the best crossing route receivers in NCAA. I think the NCAA at the time, especially on top of it, he goes across the middle. He has no heart. Not no heart. He has nothing but heart across the middle. That guy can go and play very well. I think he's good one-on-ones. Coverage, he knows how to sit and wait for the ball to come to him. He knows how to move to pretty much opening himself up. Mike Woods is a damn good athlete, to be honest. Excuse my friend, he just was a damn good athlete. He just played at Oklahoma where they kind of were just they just won games to win games. You know what I'm saying? It just was one of those things that just never really worked out for him. I think he would probably been better at staying at Arkansas, but I think that's kind of why they have him going so far back in the draft, not even getting drafted at all, but good player, man. Next up, at 199, we're going to get my boy Chris Pizzol out of Tulsa. I do not have any highlights on him as well, but another raw talent once again. He's going to be your good guard, 6'4", 324 is his weight class, 37 rank in his position, 40 time is a 4.8. Yeah, he's not a bad guy. I don't have much to say about him. Just really raw, great with his hand, great upper body strength. He can swim move. He embarrasses you. That's all I'm gonna say. He embarrasses you. You want to watch a clip? Oklahoma State game, the U of H game where he goes against I can't think of the guy's name in the draft, Hall, something like that. Goes against the top prospect out of a U of H at DN. He comes inside, man. Chris Paul just puts it on him, just drops, just drops him, man. Good Kool-Aid mix, man. So I like Chris Paul out of Tulsa, especially at that pick. Not too bad. Then we got the 223 pick in this draft. It's gonna be my boy J.T. Woods out of Baylor, 6'2", 180 pounds, free safety, 4'3". Interceptions, he had 6. Reception yards, he had 109. Pass deflections, 2. Tackles, 57. Solo tackles, 44. Position rank, he's number 50 out of cornerback. The defensive back, I'm sorry. Let me tell you something about this player. On a very bad team, very talented. And he proved it. He shows it. Let me tell you, this guy really can go after it. And if you're looking at his clips and his highlights, I'm telling you right now, this is probably one of your unsung heroes of this draft in 2022. Because, man, he can play. He's lights out. He can get the job done. He's not afraid. He's not scary. He takes risk. He reminds you of, I hate to say this, but he reminds you of an Eric Berry type player, minus the hitting. He just knew how to find the ball and get it taken care of. He was one of those type guys. So, I think if you got a chance at him, to get him, go and grab him real quick. He can play. He's an athlete, so I'm not really worried about that. If you don't like him at free safety, you can move him to strong, or you can move him to, corner. However you want to do it, you just got to have this guy in your secondary. You got to have a guy like this in your secondary, especially this late in the picks in the draft, where your value is not as high. You can find a diamond in the rough, and I think that's what you're going to find with this guy Woods, especially best fit for the Jacksonville Jaguars. With that being said, the final pick at 236, we got my boy Kennedy Brooks. 5'11", 215, junior class. He's 23rd ranked in the running back position. He's 4'5". Rushing yards, he had over 1,200. Every time he rushed, it was 6'3". Rushing touchdowns, he had 13. Receptions, he had 9. Receiving yards, he had 73. Once again, this is one of those players, just really poor offense. This season kind of hurt him really, really bad. Lincoln Riley knows better. He's the quarterback whisperer. So, when he went to Oklahoma, they don't really run the ball like that. But however, they have been the past 2 years. The thing I like about him is he runs hard. He reminds me of Marion Barber. He just runs hard. I don't expect him to have a long career in the NFL as most running backs, but you give him the ball, he going to make something happen. And he's just one of those players that just seems to just find ways to just get the first down and some. He's just really good after contact. I like him, especially because they got him going undrafted as well. I think poor quarterback plays would hurt him, but I think he's a great value pick. I think he's going to be your tough back. Add some weight to him, see what he does, and I think he'll do his thing over there in Jacksonville if you guys do give him. But this is not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick. I like it. It's not a bad pick, man. Especially this late in the draft. You get somebody that can run over 12,000 yards and 13 touchdowns. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. And he's actually in a conference, like a really good conference. Granted, it's not no SEC or no Big Ten, but it's a part of the Power 5, right? And you get him. He's seeing competition every day. So I would recommend a guy like this. With that being said, Jaguar fans, football fans, mock NFL draft fans, tell me what you think. I'm out, man. Peace.